We talk about patterns. When someone breaks into a home or breaks into a car, they let you know that they will take whatever they want to take. They see something, they go get it. Whether it is something in that car or even some kind of issue with the person that owned that car. And this is why we see now more of a pattern of her recklessly spending taxpayers' money as the mayor is conducting a $7 million deficit.
All the way until last month, we were receiving monthly financial reports. This month, we did not receive a monthly financial report. Last fiscal year through May, the deficit was $2.5 million in our operating account. This year through the report we got, which was September 30th, I pulled that up as you were speaking. So from May through September, there was an additional $4.2 million of deficit. So you couple those two together, the deficit is growing and it's approaching $7 million.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We could tell that she sees things and she gets it and she wants it, even if it's something that she shouldn't have. And that's the biggest problem we have right now. As promised, we're going to be talking about the criminal past of the super mayor, Tiffany Henyard. Many content creators have already discussed this. Shout out to Nate the Lawyer, Pink Book Lessons, and Shawane Burns. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. Shout out to them, but I want to dig a little deeper to exactly what is going on. I wanted to find some answers to these questions. Did the residents know about Tiffany's arrest before she got elected? Did she ever talk about her arrest? And as voters, how much time do we spend truly looking at the background of a candidate? And I want to talk about the topic from the last video that got a lot of attention about the idea of when you vote for someone, you get what you deserve. I have some clarifications about that statement. We're going to talk about that in this video. Let's get into it. So as you can see right here, this is the mugshot. She was arrested July 20th, 2016 and released a day later. And her charge was criminal trespass to vehicles. What is criminal trespass? The criminal act involves unauthorized entry into a vehicle owned by someone else. This offense doesn't necessarily involve death or damage to the vehicle. The key element is unauthorized entry. You got into a vehicle that wasn't yours. It is considered a form of trespass, which typically involves entering or maintaining on property without permission. That is a pretty serious crime. Nothing to scoff at. It's not something minor. My car was broken into during the pandemic. Getting into someone's vehicle is like going into someone's house. Apart from your house, your vehicle is probably one of the more valuable things you have. Some of us are still paying for this vehicle that we're using. And for someone to go in there without permission, it's really bad. It's terrible, actually. So she was arrested and then was released. Not much more information is available. I've been looking all over the internet. If anyone has more information exactly what happened, you can email me. But it's definitely a red flag, obviously, as someone who is running for office. And the one thing that I've noticed as well is I was scouring the internet all day yesterday, trying to find any kind of interview, any kind of written publication of Tiffany Henyard talking about her arrest or talking about this past situation. It don't seem like there is anything. She's bragging about her accomplishments. She brags about what she's doing, but she doesn't talk about this arrest at all. Yes, you could say it's 7 years ago, but she was running for office just a few years ago. Usually when you have something that happens to you, like being arrested, usually that's a low point in your life, you'd want to discuss it. But it looks like it never happened. Going to the internet, checking out some videos, haven't seen any discussion. I don't know if her opponent running for mayor brought it up. Who knows? She won 82% of the vote when she became mayor.
History is going to be made today in South Suburban Dolton. Tiffany Henyard will be sworn in as the village's first woman mayor. Henyard won 82% of the vote in the April election.
So this question, you guys can answer in the comments below. Would you ever vote someone after they've been arrested for something? For me, I think the best candidates are people who probably haven't been arrested, but obviously it depends on the crime, right? Someone that's doing some kind of protest peacefully, they get arrested. That person's trying to make a statement. Instead of using the handcuffs, they give them some kind of plastic zip tie. They go in and spend an afternoon in jail and they move. It depends on the crime, obviously. If you're embezzling or you're doing something super violent, no, I don't think, obviously, that's probably not the good pick. But I do want to say this, that just because you have a criminal history does not necessarily mean you're not able to do the job. Going back to my time of being a manager, I've hired people who had criminal histories. But this is the difference between those people that I hired and had good experiences compared to Tiffany Henyard. So when you hire, it's crucial for that person to be open about their past. So when I interviewed some of these people, they were able to tell me exactly what they did, what happened, and why they did it, and what they learned from it. And talking to them, I felt that they realized that they made a mistake. They're looking for a second chance. They're here to do something positive, and I had good experiences. The problem is with Tiffany Henyard, it was a problem then, and it's definitely a problem now. There was no transparency. We should be able to give people second chances if they're truly transparent with everything. And the problem is that Tiffany Henyard never openly discussed her arrest. So it's concerning when a candidate only shares their positive achievements, but not their downfalls. So I don't think the residents knew about her being arrested. She won 82% of the vote, as I said before. How much do we really know the backgrounds of our political candidates? Sometimes it looks like we know little to nothing. If it's not from the opponent or the media bring this up, there's no way anyone would know. Now, another thing I've noticed a lot of people in the comment section and checking out other videos that people are saying, how is this happening? How are these people allowing this to happen? What's going on? This is just typical, I guess, Illinois corruption politics. How they are allowing this person to continue. But the thing is, they have tried. It was an effort to recall the mayor.
Trustees in South Suburban Dolton say 56% of voters want their mayor removed from office in a controversial recall vote.
It was initiated back in April of 2022. The Dolton Village Board voted to place 2 referendums on the ballot for the election on June 28, 2022. These referendums would have enabled the recall of Henyard. Over 54% of the voters voted in favor to recall on the 2 questions on the ballot. The problem is the results of the recall vote were later found to be invalid.
Evening, you may remember back in the spring, Mayor Tiffany Henyard filing a lawsuit arguing that the recall referendum was unconstitutional. A Cook County judge then ordering the county clerk to disregard the results of yesterday's recall referendum. And then at the 11th hour, an appellate court reversing that decision until this entire matter can be decided in court later this summer.
So Dolton just can't catch a break. Results for Tiffany Henyard were found to be invalid due to a combination of legal and procedural problems. The Illinois First Appellate Court ruled that the Dolton Village Board made a mistake in attempting to ask voters to both create a recall provision and to recall Henyard from office in the same election. Simply put, they tried to make a new rule about how to remove a mayor and use it at the same time. But the law says you can't do both at one time. You have to make the rule first, and then later you can use it to decide if the mayor should be removed. I hope that makes sense.
Written statement, Henyard saying, quote, "Many of my supporters did not vote because they were under the impression the votes would not be counted. Sadly, because the vote was allowed to happen, our community is more divided than ever."
Since they didn't follow this step-by-step process, the court said that their decision to remove the mayor didn't count. This is why she came out like this when the recall was rejected.
How y'all doing? Ain't no stopping us now.
But simply put, I don't think the residents would have voted 82% if they knew about her past. I think it was important for her to talk about it. We can tell when someone is truly sorry for something and being open about what you've done in the past. None of us are perfect, obviously. And even as a country, we need to investigate the backgrounds of political candidates more thoroughly. If you know the story about George Santos, the member of Congress, that is an excellent example, because this dude was expelled from Congress due to facing multiple federal fraud charges. His tenure in the House of Representatives was marked by controversy and scandal, leading to criminal charges being filed against him. And this dude literally lied about damn near everything. He lied about his education. He lied about his work experience. He lied about his charity work. He even lied and claimed that his mother was in the World Trade Center during the 9/11 attacks, and that his grandparents escaped the Holocaust. He even lied about having a past criminal charge in Brazil. And this guy was able to be elected congressman. It's just, they realized right after they did that this guy was a total fraud. So this happens all the time, obviously. We talk about patterns. When someone breaks into a home or breaks into a car, they let you know that they will take whatever they want to take. They see something, they go get it. Whether it is something in that car or even some kind of issue with the person that owned that car. And this is why we see now more of a pattern of her recklessly spending taxpayers' money as the mayor is conducting a $7 million deficit where she is running things. We can tell that she sees things and she gets it and she wants it, even if it's something that she shouldn't have. And that's the biggest problem we have right now. But let's revisit this idea. I talked about this on the last video. You get what you voted for. Let me show you a clip of what I said. You voted for this person, you deserve everything that happens. Which I find is a really weird thing to say. When people vote for a candidate, They make the decision on the information and circumstances available at the time. Situations can change dramatically after elections. New facts may emerge, or the elected official might act differently than expected. Holding voters accountable for unforeseen changes undermine the dynamic nature of politics. I had a day to think about it, and I want to provide some clarifications. I don't believe things are black or white. I believe in some level of nuance. So when you guys say in the comments, and I appreciate all the comments, it's all love. When many of you guys say you get what you voted for, in my opinion, it's definitely accurate when you're talking about policies. When you are voting for a candidate policies, and those policies, it's pretty obvious, they tell you exactly what they're going to do, and you vote for it, and it goes wrong, or they give you exactly what you wanted, but you realize that was a bad idea, it's hard to complain when you knew their record and you still voted for them, right? So for instance, I'm in New York City. I did vote for the mayor. That was a big mistake. He sucks. I voted for the mayor, but I didn't vote for the governor. But if I voted for both of them and I see what's happening in New York City, you can say, yeah, I can't complain. I voted for them. I knew their record. But what about a candidate's criminal record? Should voters be informed about it beforehand? In my opinion, absolutely. We need to know what was going on, and then we can make our decision after that. So if I voted for a candidate and I did not know about their criminal history, I feel fooled. I feel scammed, because when you're voting for someone and you're thinking, all right, this person probably has as much as a clean slate as I do, like I haven't been arrested before, that, okay, we don't have to worry about that issue. If a candidate decides to just be crooked, yeah, it sucks, but I didn't know beforehand. That's why I think 54% decided to recall. They realized they got fooled, and obviously the actions that she's taking brings it to a point where they want her gone. There's so much corruption in our society here, and all we want is accountability, and we want transparency. You want to know about this person before you hire them. But it seemed like Tiffany Henyard was already entrenched in the political landscape in that area. She seems to be charismatic, and she just kind of jumped in. And I still don't understand the idea of being a mayor and you're running the township. Someone had to explain that to me. That's just my opinion. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoy this and you want more information is coming in weekly, sometimes a daily basis. Like, subscribe, share this out with your friends and family. Thank you for taking time to watch this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video.